What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Steve Does Stuff. Today, we're doing some transmission stuff. One of the things that I've definitely been ignoring is doing the transmission, mostly because I don't know how to do it. Didn't do it last time, and it was really expensive. So I think this time I'm gonna try and take it down. That truck currently has about 170,000 kilometers on it. I did the transmission fluid and filter, or had somebody do it at about 80 to 90,000. So we're coming up on about 100,000 kilometers on this thing, and it is definitely time for a change. I tow a lot with it. I've never overheated it or anything like that, but it gets hot. The hottest I've seen is about 85 degrees Celsius, which is definitely getting up there. I don't know what that is in American. It's probably time to do it. So I did what any person would do who's cheap and probably dumb. I went on YouTube. I looked up some videos of how to do it, found a diesel one. Now it is worth noting, with these trucks, there's two different types of transmissions. There's a 6L50E, or the Helen Keller of transmissions that I like to say. It never knows where it is. We're in first, we're in second, we're in third. We're shifting between fourth and third, but maybe not. Maybe we'll lock up the torque converter, maybe we won't. I don't know. Who knows what's happening? That's that transmission. I don't like it, but it doesn't slip. And I put a TCM tune in it from Bad News Racing. It helped clean it up, but you could fall asleep during the time it takes this thing to shift gears. But it works, so I might as well take care of it. This is my 2016 GMC Canyon that I'm going to be taking on a road trip the last 3 weeks of July. I'm going to be going across Canada, and I want to make sure that I'm doing all the maintenance on this before we sleep in the back, stay in hotels, go backcountry camping. I got all AC Delco stuff, so this is their Dextron 6? Not really sure how to read the Roman numerals. I'm not going to be popping off the trans cooler. I'm going to be dropping the pan, cleaning it out, putting in a new filter, new fluid, and then before we leave on the trip, I'll suck all the fluid back out and put fresh fluid in again. So the tools for this job are pretty easy, basic hand tools. I've got more than enough fluid here. I've got the filter. I know this thing's gonna be a bit of a bugger. Gasket in it is reusable. I don't even know what to call this thing. It's like a giant syringe fluid putter-inner machine. It was 25 bucks, and it's the best 25 bucks I've ever spent. So we're gonna use that to put the fluid in there. But instead of dropping the pan out, I have one of these. And if you don't know what this is, you should read. This is an oil extractor. I brought it for a boat I had way back in the day, which was a ProStar 190. It had a 350 Chev in it, and the motor was right in the middle of the boat. So instead of dropping the plug out of the bottom of the oil pan and getting oil everywhere, I just sucked it up through the dipstick. So I'm hoping I can use this. Basically the way it works, creates a vacuum in there. You put that into whatever fluid you want to do some sucking on, and first things first, I gotta try and get this thing up in the air a little bit more and level. So I got my handy dandy little level, which is magnetic. I'm gonna throw that on the trans pan and see what we can do. This will give me a little bit extra room to work in there, so I don't have a ripping hot transmission in my face. That's level enough for me. There she is. I think it's also worth noting I am legitimately terrified to take this on, so yeah, I don't want to screw this up and blow up my transmission. So initial reactions, there's a lot less room in here than it looks like. So first thing we got to do, that little rubber cap right up here, now this is on the passenger side of the truck, that has to come out so we can kind of fan dangle our little tube in there to suck all the fluid out. It's also worth noting, on the very bottoms of these, there is this notice sticker of how to properly check the fluid of this. I'm not going to bother to check the fluid in it now because it was professionally done, and I'm going to suck it all out and measure it anyway. But when we put the new fluid back in, we need to heat it up to between 30 and 50 degrees, make sure it's on a dead level surface like it is right now, and then pull this plug out to make sure it's not overfilled. If it's underfilled, we'll add a little bit more in, etc., etc. So it seems very easy. There's about 19,000 bolts holding this thing on, which I've heard are easy to strip, which again just makes me a little more nervous, which is fine. I have popped the top. Let's see if we can get her out. Oh, this is difficult to do and film. Okay. All right. There it is on that guy. See if we can see that hole. Yeah, right there. Boop. That's where. Oh, it smells like burnt hair and latex. So this is the little transmission plug. It seems like, I don't know what the heck that does, but it slides up. I do not want to lose this. So I'm going to put it in a safe spot. Right in the filter box where I can throw it out. That's a good spot for it, yeah. Been a little while since I used this guy, but we want all the extensions to go up and down. Maybe. No. Good God. Jesus. That's definitely it. Right down there past that cat's where we're gonna feed this little fella down. I think we're at the bottom. Aha! That's a lot redder than I thought it was gonna be. That's a pleasant surprise. Look at that. A little bit of a leak there, but that is much more red than I thought. I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty smart right now. You know, I kind of take it back. That's pretty black. I think each one of these is a liter. Not sure. Okay, this is once again starting to get nervous. Oh, perfect. This is gonna suck what's left out of there. We're gonna move it around a little bit. 5.5 liters. That's almost dead nuts. Fluid's out. Extractor's been pulled out. Dipstick or plug is out. Tube's over there. I think it's time to get under this thing and pop the cover off, or should say pop the pan off. This is where things are gonna get squirrely. Still nervous. You know, for a truck, there's not really that much room under here. So under the truck, I got a magnetic pan so I can put all of the 1900 bolts in there. I got a little fluid pan. And now it's time to start taking off all of these little 10mm guys all the way around the pan. Now the gasket is reusable up to 3 to 4 times, so this is the second time, third time, I guess. It's the second time it's been changed, so third time it's been used. We're gonna toss it out after that, but when you're tightening these back up, I've heard and seen on forums, these don't take very much to hold them in place. People over torque them and they strip it right into the trans casing, which that's a nightmare I don't want to have, so I'm gonna be pretty gentle with her. The video I watched was a diesel, so they didn't have this. They just had one pipe coming down this side. Anyway, this isn't a diesel, so doesn't matter. Okay. This is what poor life choices look like. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the rear bolt out of the pan. So there's one at the front, one at the back holding it up. And it should still be empty. But I'm going to support it with my hand regardless. Although, I guess the exhaust could support it. Now what in the world's stopping this thing from coming down? Well, this is about the worst case scenario we could come on to here. That's not coming off, boys. That's not coming off at all. Alright, so this is a 5-alarm fuck up. I don't know why I didn't think about this, but this pan dips right here. And that's where all the valve body and the filter and everything sits. Now the video I watched, like I said all along, didn't have this crosser on here. Which is bad news for me because that means they didn't have to worry about the valve body. So I started thinking like, God, I'm gonna have to drop this exhaust. Quick update on our situation here. We are soaking these bolts in penetrating oil, scrubbing them to try and get them off, because that's definitely part of the procedure that I didn't research. So really hoping I don't break one. That hurt. Anyway, all right, a bit of an update. I'm deaf, but I got 2 of the 6 bolts, 4 of the 6 loose after a little scrubbing and PB blaster, and I'm using the impact because I really don't want to snap them off. But the side effect of that is, well, I got my hat backwards here, I'm going deaf. I'm very impressed with that. All right, quick update. It's about an hour later, and this bolt won. So I did what any smart person would do. I rounded the living shit out of it. Let's see if we can get focus yet. And she's done. So we won't be changing the filter today. We're gonna be buttoning this thing back up. I gotta take this to a professional, which I am not. However, I am still gonna be changing the fluid in this because, well, I no longer have a truck. I have a boat anchor that won't go anywhere and a transmission that will burn out if I turn it on. So let's put all 1900 screws back in here and fill it up full of fresh fluid. So I put the pan back on, all the bolts are back in, nice and hand tight. All the exhaust bolts that came out are back in. Exhaust hanger is back on. I'm gonna hit it with some new ATF though. So this guy is all filled up, 1.5 liters. It's got a little lock down here so you don't shoot fluid all over the place, and then a little stopper on the end. But I freaking love this thing for putting fluid in. She's not gonna leak. It's all good. I'll give you guys a look at this situation here. So you got this guy. It's got a stubby little cord on it. So she's got a freaking extendo on her. And she's running right up into the fill tube. So we know it's gonna take roughly 5.5 liters. So we're gonna throw 3 in and then measure out what we took out. Put the same amount in. Okay, that is 5.5 litros transmission fluid in there. I popped the plug back in, well, because I'm scared. Now we gotta run this thing up to anywhere between 30 and 50 degrees Celsius. Pull this back plug, see how she's doing. That's 30 degrees. Let's jump under there and check her. I think that's good enough. She's still coming out of there pretty good, but it's just on the teensy-weensy bit of an angle, so I am going to call that good. I think we're there. Took the truck for a drive. Transmission shifts like it should. Drives like it's full of ATF. Definitely going to need to take it to somebody in order to get the bolt cut off. Thank God I came to my senses. What am I gonna do? Give this to a mechanic? Maybe $100 to do that? Absolutely not. So we are doubling down. We're making bad life choices. We are all in. So I got a new nut. I got 2 new flanges for the Y pipe, and I also got a nut cutter. Could it split the nut, also destroying the threads and then being more expensive? Probably, yeah, but whatever, let's try it. So I got more ATF because the way I did it, I took out all of the fluid in the pan, but I never actually took the fluid out of the transcooler, so it's mixing with some old ones. These are some new exhaust bolts, and these are the new gaskets that attach to, I guess, the catalytic converter and Y pipe. This guy is the nut splitter. Alright, so I did test rip on this guy. Yeah, I got through it alright. These puppies are decidedly bigger, so I think we're just gonna give her. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. This is definitely the wrong tool for the wrong job. It works, but it's the wrong tool. It'll still make you an idiot. This seems like an operation for eye protection. Good thing I got my safety squint. Trying to get through that collar because I'm into the nut pretty good, but I gotta split that piece at the back. Gosh, this thing is terrible. So I think we got her dialed. Man, this nut splitting is hard work. God dang it. If there's anything I've ever learned, the one metric for success is how many vice grips are involved with whatever you're doing. The more, the higher chance of success. Because everybody knows that is the right tool for almost every single job. Confidence is at all-time high. See if we can just grip this baby off. Nope. Maybe the grips again? Gosh, I can't imagine this is gonna do it. Gosh darn it. Nope, giving her a haircut. Well, shaky camera's back and we are defeated once again. It's close and we're not digging into the threads yet, but I think we're pretty defeated. I'm gonna go paint a shed and maybe we'll be back tomorrow with power tools. It's officially day 3 of Nutgate, or Tranigate, or Transgate, or whatever you want to call it. And things have snowballed even further. We're going power tools. We can't get this nut off by cutting it, we're gonna grind it off. Got a little practice session set up here, and I ground this little guy, which was seized onto an old stud, until it came off. So, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put the truck up on its side. I'm either gonna grind this nut so much that it spins off, or I'm gonna destroy the threads, and we're gonna get in even deeper. So, see what happens. We are making some unprecedented progress. It's hard to see, but we're getting through her. Oh yes. Feeling pretty smart, pretty happy I didn't ask anybody to do this for me like an idiot. I don't even know what to say at this point. The resilience of this bastard is unbelievable. I mean, truly. Next level. That it's not come off yet, but we're so close. I can't believe my eyes. This bolt finally broke. Oh my god. I think it deserves to stay there, but we're taking it off. This is what success looks like. This is my 3rd day trying to get this guy off. Ha ha. You know, when people ask me if I enjoy working on cars and you save money and time, I'll just show them this bolt and say, what do you think? As crazy as this seems, I gotta put a nut back on this because I gotta drive my truck tomorrow. Definitely don't have time to do the transmission tonight, so on you go. If I have a future mental breakdown, I'll just show anybody this video and they'll know why. Just kind of working it back and forth. Threads are a little, well, unsurprisingly, they seem like a little gummed up, although I may have nicked them with there, so just trying to work all the crap out of the threads on this guy. Spraying it with lots of PB, working it back and forth so it gets a hard spot, taking it back off, rubbing it down, so it's good. So this guy is officially back on. And watch me strip it, putting it on. That would be super sick. That's the culprit right there. Look how thin that was, and it still was not turning. Wow. Talk about a struggle. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of Steve Does Stuff. I busted my nut after 3 days. Feels fantastic. Join me next time when I actually change my transmission fluid filter. Wow. Goodbye.